In tennis, eras collide only in dreams. But what if Pete Sampras, the king of the 90s, faced today's titans Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Sinner, and Alcaraz in a dream match? Would his serve and volley brilliance still dominate, or would modern baseline power and athleticism overpower him? 14 Grand Slam titles, all before Federer won his first. Dominated fast courts, Wimbledon 7x, US Open 5x. Legendary serve and volley, mental toughness, and net game. Weakness, never won the French Open, struggled on slow clay, on grass and fast hard courts. Sampras was nearly untouchable. But would his one-dimensional baseline play hold up today? Federer, more complete serve and volley, plus better baseline than Sampras. Nadal, Sampras would likely struggle on clay against Rafa's topspin. Djokovic, return of serve would neutralize Sampras's greatest weapon. Head-to-head dream stats prediction. Sampras versus Federer. Federer wins 6-10. Sampras versus Nadal. Nadal wins 7-10. Sampras versus Djokovic. Djokovic wins 8-10. The big three evolved the game. Djokovic especially would exploit Sampras's one-pace backhand and his vulnerability in long rallies. Sinner, laser-sharp power, deadly timing from baseline. Alcaraz, mix of flair, speed, angles, unpredictable and aggressive. These two represent the new hybrid, powerful like Djokovic, aggressive like Sampras, but faster and more flexible. They'd test Sampras's movement and reaction time. Predicted H2H. Sampras versus Alcaraz. Alcaraz wins 6-10. Sampras versus Sinner. Split 5 or 10 depending on surface. On grass or fast indoor courts, Sampras could still dominate, especially with no slow returners like Djokovic. But on modern hard courts and clay, the edge goes to Djokovic, Nadal, and Alcaraz due to their return game, athleticism, and adaptability. In a dream tournament across all surfaces, Djokovic edges everyone. But on center court Wimbledon, Sampras could still be king. Pete Sampras was as great in his era as the big three and modern stars like Alcaraz and Sinner are in theirs, but the game has evolved. His dominance was real, but in a hypothetical cross-era match, his effectiveness would depend heavily on surface, technology, and rule changes. Sampras's strengths: 14 Grand Slams, a record when he retired in 2002. 7 Wimbledon titles, tied second all-time. One of the greatest serves in tennis history. Master of serve and volley on fast courts. Dominated in a power plus precision era. Wood to early composite rackets. Limitations by modern standards. Baseline game was not as consistent or physical as today's players. Never won the French Open. Struggled on slow clay. Return of serve not as strong compared to Djokovic or Nadal. Fitness and recovery science were not as advanced during his time if Sampras played today, assuming no era adjustment. He would struggle against Djokovic, who's arguably the greatest returner and baseline tactician of all time. Nadal on clay would likely overwhelm him with topspin and rallies. Alcaraz and Sinner, with their explosive baseline and defensive speed, could expose Sampras's slower footwork and one-dimensional backhand. If Sampras grew up in this era, if you gave Sampras today's racket tech, modern fitness training, and he evolved with the baseline-heavy meta, he could very well be a 20-plus slam winner too. His mental strength, serve, and net skills were elite and would adapt. Think of him as an elite version of Federer if born a decade later. Sampras was not inferior, he was a generational great, but the game has moved forward. Today's champions are products of slower surfaces, polystrings, extended rallies, and superior defensive play. So in a raw cross-era match, modern players may win more often. But in context, Sampras was every bit as dominant in his time as the big three are now.